Words matter. Words matter. If you're speaking and using words that are unprofessional, that make you unsure of yourself, then the substance of what you're saying can actually be overshadowed because people are more focused on your unprofessional and unsure language. It's important that you avoid, that you eliminate common everyday phrases, cliches that undermine your confidence when you're speaking. So, in this morning's video, we're actually going to talk about words that you should eliminate from your vocabulary. Now, I know it's hard. I know as we go through these, you're going to say to me, hang on, those are things I say all the time. Look, sometimes I fall into that trap too. But what's important is that your message is getting across and that certain words are not undermining your confidence and making you seem unprofessional. So grab a pen and paper or feel free to screenshot. Feel free to screenshot these slides as we go. Sorry, the coffee has not kicked in yet this morning. Feel free to screenshot the slides as we go so that you have these phrases at the ready when you need them. Now, I'm going to come back over here for a moment because before we get started, one question I've gotten this morning, not this morning, one question I've gotten that I want to answer this morning. Wow. I got the coffee right here, I promise. It just hasn't kicked in yet. One question I want to answer this morning that I get from a lot of you, especially on LinkedIn, but even on Facebook and YouTube, is what resources do you provide? People see the podcast, you see my post about free career newsletters, you see my post about joining subscriber events. So look, before I get started with the words that you need to eliminate this morning, they're all right here on your screen. All of my career videos are on YouTube. Just jump over there and subscribe. The link is video.cicely.me. Listen, just screenshot this slide. You've got, if you want career advice directly to your inbox, just text the number on the screen. And if you're on that email list, you get invited to subscriber only events, and those start in September. But look, you've got other resources there. So screenshot this, and I'll keep showing this for the next couple of videos because these are questions that I've been getting from you. And yes, these are all free career resources. Man, the struggle is real today. Free career resources for you. And look, if you just want to talk about your particular situation, you see my calendar link is right there. Jump on it. Y'all know I love to talk, so jump on that. And happy to have a conversation about your individual situation and your career path. So, all right, I just bought you maybe 10 or 20 seconds there with that slide. So let's jump in to the 5 types of words and phrases you need to avoid so that you don't seem unprofessional at work. And now look, remember that these tips, as I'm counting down these top 50 career tips, these tips are meant to help you succeed in any role. So please don't think this is just for someone who works in an office or someone who's in a particular environment. The words you should remove from your vocabulary apply in any situation. And yes, the first type of word or phrase you see on the screen are words of uncertainty. When you are speaking, when you're making a presentation, when you're at work, your audience wants to know that you know what you're talking about. And don't forget, you can write these down or you can screenshot these as we go because we're going to go through a bunch of examples here this morning. So make sure that you capture all these so that you can start to work on removing these words from your vocabulary immediately. All right, so here are examples. I'm going to give you examples. Look, for those of you who are watching here in my coaching program, you know I love examples and language cues. And so this morning, I'm giving you the language that you need to remove, the actual examples of what you need to remove. Remove I think from your vocabulary, even take it out of your emails, because I think means you're unsure. It means you're equivocal about whether you're making the right statement or not. And I think denotes a lack of confidence. I hear it and see it all the time. In my opinion is another example that you have to be careful of, as well as I believe. I understand that your belief may not be somebody else's, but by saying I believe or in my opinion or I think, these are words of uncertainty that will 100% undermine appearing professional and undermine your credibility at work, because people, if you say I think or I believe, Those are not words of certainty. Those are not words of strength. Those are not words of confidence. Again, I know this is hard, but these are the three types of uncertainty phrases, and there are many more, but remove these from your vocabulary, or at least write them down so you can start working on removing these from your vocabulary. The second type of word or phrase, and you guys know this is a big one for me. I did a whole video on this. I can link to it below when we're done. I did a whole video on this a couple of, probably several weeks ago now that I think about it, which are words of apology, phrases of apology. You want to remove words and phrases of apology from your vocabulary. Look, people just get annoyed. That's just the honest to goodness truth. People just get annoyed when you say, I'm sorry all the time. When you say sorry. When you say my apologies. And I see these in emails all the time. And again, I did a much more in-depth stop over apologizing video that I'll link to below. But look, this is this is probably the hardest one we're going to go over today. So, like I said, if you need to talk through, how to replace these words, I'm not going to go into examples because we still have three more types of phrases to go through. I'm not going to go through examples today of what you should say. These are the types of phrases and words you want to avoid. If you want to talk through actual language cues of what you should say, then my calendar link, connect.cicely.me, is right there. Happy to give you examples. For those of you in the coaching program, you already have these examples because we've gone over these. But I'm sorry, and my apologies. Or people say, I'm sorry for being late. Well, we know you're late. We just saw you join the Zoom call late. We just saw you walk in the room late. You don't need to say, I'm sorry. You don't need to say sorry or my apologies. Those are all words that absolutely undermine your credibility, but they annoy your audience as much as any type of word or phrase we're going to cover this morning. Number 3, the types of words and phrases are filler words. And everyone is guilty of the filler words. You're guilty of the ums and the rights. And okay, just a moment here, just a moment. And the word right, over the last 3 to 4 years, a filler word of right has just become common in our vocabulary. I see it on TV all the time when reporters are like, that's crazy, right? Oh my gosh, my skin wants to crawl because it's just a filler word. All you gotta do is say they're crazy, and the notation and denotation of your voice is going to imply that you're asking a question. You don't need to put right at the end of every sentence. And my Lord, there are some people who say right at the end of every sentence. You got to be careful about those words because they absolutely undermine your professionalism. Is the same way. It is okay to have pauses. It's okay to pause while you gather your thoughts. It's okay to pause for dramatic effect. It's okay to pause if you're trying to make a point and you want paying attention because pauses are uncomfortable. Let me show you. See, pauses are uncomfortable. People don't like gaps of silence, but it's okay. I'd rather you have a gap of silence where you gather your thoughts than to use right or to use or you know. You know is another one. It's kind of like right where people just end sentences with you know, and it's just slang and it's just a colloquialism that's going to get you in trouble. Sort of is another one. A lot of people describe and use the phrase sort of. Another one, like, kind of like. I'm guilty of several of these, and I know probably you are as well, but like and kind of like are also filler words that are just that. They're unnecessary. And by being unnecessary, you need to remove them from your vocabulary. And I hope you guys are screenshotting these as we go, or you can go back and watch this on the replay because you definitely want to write these down and start to work on it. And look, we've talked about this, and I'll say it again in a minute. You're not going to get this right the first time. I constantly coach my clients that you're not going to get this right the first time. It's progress every single day that will help you. When you start to say these words, you'll start to catch yourself in the moment and you'll stop saying them. The fourth type of word or phrase that you should remove from your vocabulary because they make you seem unprofessional are words of emotion. If you have worked with me or if you've worked for me in any kind of capacity, then you know I probably have had a conversation with you at some point about words of emotion. Speak from a point of fact, speak from a place of certainty and factual information, not words of emotion. Words of emotion are absolutely discounted. And let me tell you, I used to do this, and I had a boss very early on in my career who told me how detrimental this was. That Cicely, you've got a lot to say and you've got a great message. You've done your homework, you know the substance of what you're talking about. But words of emotion, letting your voice get high, letting you get worked up when you talk, absolutely undermines your message. And that was, oh, it's one of the most valuable pieces of advice I've ever gotten in my career. So let's talk about the types of emotional words you should remove. I feel as though we should do this. No one wants your feelings at work. Remove the word I feel. Remove the word I believe. Again, because you're making them very personal to you, not that they're statements of fact. I feel is not a statement of fact. I believe is not a statement of fact. Now, does that make sense? Also denotes an uncertainty, a lack of confidence in how you speak, because now you're asking if it makes sense to your audience because you're not sure that you've accurately conveyed the message you wanted to convey. So when you see does that make sense or I feel or I believe, these words of emotion are just that. They're emotional. They're not factual. When you're at work, when you're giving a presentation or speaking in public, speak from a place of certainty and a place of factual information. Again, if you want to talk about, I have a couple of these that I would recommend to you as language cues to replace these, but hop on my calendar. It's connect.cicely.me. I'll talk you through those. For those of you in the program, if you're commenting, then I will absolutely make sure you guys know these because we go through these language cues all the time. But I know a couple of you said that you were interested in this topic, so we're going to go a deeper dive in this in the program in the next couple of weeks. Number 5, good old number 5, last but not least, qualifiers. Qualifiers are the 5th type of word or phrase you should remove from your vocabulary because it makes you seem unprofessional. Now, I put weakness in parentheses. That may set off a little bit of a firestorm here on this call this morning because words of weakness or qualifiers, they're just kind of like the word right, where they just get under people's skin, but they absolutely overshadow and undermine your message. The first one is just. When you say, I just want to, or I just did, or I just is an unnecessary word that is a qualifier, and it's like you're just looking for something to say. So you're grappling for words to put in a sentence. Just is unnecessary. I'm no expert, but that one absolutely is a word of weakness and absolutely is an unnecessary qualifier you need to remove from your language. Just state your recommendation. Don't say you're not an expert because honestly, they're kind of paying you to be an expert. You know, they're paying. See, I just did, see, I'm seeing if you guys are paying attention. I'm throwing those words in there. Are you paying attention to how easily it is to put those in your vocabulary? I'm no expert is horrendous because you're being paid to be a subject matter expert. Think about that way. The last one, I don't know. Now, there are a lot of ways to say you don't know something besides saying I don't know. This one you guys may hit me in the comments on, you may hit me in the chat on. I get I don't know is a little tough because people always say, well, if you don't know something, say you don't know. I 1,000% agree with that. I 1,000% agree with that. But there are better ways to say I don't know. There are certain language cues you can use to say I don't know that are better than just the I don't know. So if you're following me, just I'm no expert, but or I don't know are qualifiers, unnecessary words that you need to remove from your sentences, that you need to remove from your vocabulary. Now, I've shared the 5 types of words and phrases that you need to remove from your vocabulary because they make you seem unprofessional. They make you seem not confident, that you're unsure of yourself. And when you're at work, nothing is more important than how you show up. How you show up matters, and part of how you show up is how you speak. The clarity of your communication, but also also the words you say matter. Words matter. So don't forget, how you show up is not just the physical presentation, but it's what you say and the attitude and mindset you bring to work as well. So, I'm going to continue to give you these career tips because I know that so many of you are reaching out with situations. You're asking me questions. I know you're watching on the replay. A lot of you don't join live, but you join on the replay. I'm grateful for that. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for all the videos. If you're on LinkedIn this morning, hey, hit me. Give me a connection request. Give me a follow request. Shoot me a private message. Always happy to chat, or you can jump on that calendar link at connect.cicely.me, and I'll continue to link to the top 50 career tips in I'll link to them below, but I'll also link to them here to the right whenever I finish this video. But I want you all to really write these words down and take this message to heart, because the way you speak, it's either going to reinforce your message or it's going to absolutely crater and undermine your message. The choice, quite honestly, the choice is kind of yours. You've got to decide how you show up, and again, how you show up includes your communication skills as much as anything. Verbally communication skills and written communication skills cannot underscore enough that both are equally as important. So let's jump over into the comments this morning and see who is here. I see we've got a few folks joining us. Hey, Landon, good morning. Landon is jumping in. So I just hang on. I put my phone on do not disturb and Siri goes off anyway. Me and Siri don't get along so well. Sorry about that. Hey, Landon, good morning. Thanks for being here. Landon is helping me moderate the chat over in YouTube and also on LinkedIn. Hey, good morning, Chris. Let me just resize this a little bit, Chris, so people can see it and bring it up here. I love this topic. Words. The words we use have meaning. When we speak with confidence, it can have a dramatic impact on how people perceive us in business and in life. Chris, it absolutely does. And that's why I share that story that I got very early on in my career, that the way I was talking, people didn't hear my message because all they saw was the emotion of unprofessional words, of my voice getting high, of me getting worked up, the more excited I got about the topic I was talking about. So Chris, you're spot on. It truly does have a dramatic impact on how people perceive us. And as we've talked about in these videos, every Monday and Thursday, perception becomes reality. You've got to be careful how you are perceived. And Chris, I think you also say people who speak confidently are seen as more competent and trustworthy. The competent piece is huge. Just to be professional, you want to be seen as competent. I completely agree. They're more likely to be successful in negotiation and perceived as leaders. Yeah, that's why I titled this video, Don't Speak This Way, right? Be careful how you speak, because you do want to be perceived as professional. You do want to speak like a leader. You do want to speak as someone who is an authority in your field, an authority in your topic. You want that confidence, that competence, and that authority to absolutely shine through. And Chris, I actually do a master class on language in my program, my coaching program. I coach live every Monday night, and then I do a live Q&A every Thursday. And listen, this is just scratching the surface of what those folks get. We go deep into language cues. I not only tell them and coach and walk, we work through it together. What you shouldn't say, but more importantly, what you should. So the master class, Chris, is the pull up your chair coaching program that I do live. That is just, oh my gosh, I am so blessed by the people in that program. It's phenomenal. And Mason, my friend, I have not seen you in a month of Sundays, as we say here in the South. I still think of your words of apology video and writing emails, Cicely. Thank you. Oh, thank you for watching that. Mason, listen, if you guys don't know Mason, follow him. Mason is phenomenal. We met years ago. Mason, I'm not going to date ourselves, but we met years ago. And Mason, I've not seen you in a while. I have not heard from you. Thank you for watching these videos. I'm glad the one on words of apology was very helpful to you. I'll be honest with you, Mason, I still catch myself when I'm writing emails as well, and I'm like, oh, delete, 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 delete. Don't say that. So, Mason, it's always great to see you, and I'm so glad you're thriving and doing well in your legal career. You're awesome. Yeah, Landon's right. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe if you're on YouTube, and if you're on LinkedIn, send me a follow or connection request. I'd love to hear from you. And I also want to make sure you're getting your questions answered. Hey, good morning, Judy. Thanks for being here this morning. Great. I'm so glad this topic is resonating with you. So glad that these videos are resonating with so many, as Mason just said. And again, I'm grateful that he has taken time out of his schedule, and all of you taken time out of your schedule to be here this morning, because we're here. I'm here every Monday and Thursday morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 8:30 Central. Look, offering tips to help you succeed in any role, regardless of where you are in your career. And you all know this. To be a leader, you don't need a title to be a leader in your field, in your industry, in your company, in your office. How you speak, how you communicate. You can All right, let me Sebastian just jumped in this morning. Sebastian, is that better? You having some sound issues on your side? Not sure if anybody else is, but I am coming in hot in my earpiece here, Sebastian, so hopefully you can hear me all right this morning. But listen, my friend, thank you for being here. I love following you on social. You're the best. So I do not want to blow out everybody's eardrums, Sebastian, so I turned up the volume a little bit. Hopefully that helps you out, my friend, and makes that a little bit better. But I'm grateful for all of you who watch these videos, whether you're on replay, whether you are watching here live with me this morning. You're always welcome to join me live. You guys know that. I love the comments in the chat. The sound is good on YouTube, Chris says. All right. Well, hey, listen. It could be the socials messing with me this morning. And Sebastian, LinkedIn, me and LinkedIn have been having a conversation. I've been online with their support team lately. There's some craziness going on the LinkedIn platform. Not sure, so that it may be that it's LinkedIn, Sebastian. So yeah, catch me on the replay, my friend, or listen, hit me in a direct message. I know I love following you, and I know you and I have some great conversations. And I always love your comments here. So Chris and Sebastian, thanks for letting me know that the volume is good. Hey, listen, everybody, it's Monday. Go make it a great day and go make it a great week. And remember, the minute I end this stream, remember what you say matters. How you show up matters, and how you show up is absolutely part. It's not only how you show up physically, but it's your communication skills, both written and verbally, that can make all the difference in your career. You want to be taken seriously? Write like a serious professional. Communicate like a serious professional. That is how you're going to advance in your career. That is how you're going to be more impactful in the role you're in now. How you communicate makes all the difference in the world.